How much do you know about the longest-reigning monarch in British history? The lives of the royal family are a constant source of tabloid fodder and unfounded rumors, but there are still a few tidbits of information about the Queen Mum that may catch you off guard. Here are 10 interesting facts about the Queen that will surprise you. Before we get into the list, take a second and smash that like button, tickle that subscribe button, and slam that bell icon to show your support. This is 10 Zone. Number 10. No one thought she would be queen. Elizabeth was not expected to become queen. Being the firstborn child of the Duke and Duchess of York, who themselves would become King George VI and Queen Elizabeth, meant that young Elizabeth stood third in line to the throne after her uncle Edward, Prince of Wales, and her father, the Duke of York. However, when her uncle abdicated the throne to marry divorcee Wallis Simpson, Elizabeth's father acceded to the throne, and Elizabeth became first in line. The scandal surrounding her uncle Edward's decision was something uncommon in royal family history, and the resulting media firestorm pushed Elizabeth even further into the public consciousness and to the height of celebrity, as she was now number 1 in line to the throne. Number 2. First British monarch to visit the Republic of Ireland in 100 years. In May 2011, Elizabeth and Philip took a diplomatic trip to the Republic of Ireland at the invitation of the President. Although the Queen had regularly visited Northern Ireland throughout her reign, this was her first to the Republic of Ireland, and the first visit by a British monarch in 100 years. During her visit, she expressed her sincere thoughts and deep sympathy for the victims of the problematic Anglo-Irish past. The Queen's highly anticipated visit was heralded as the beginning of a new era of friendship between the Republic of Ireland and Britain. Number 3. The Queen uses coupons. Engaged to Philip Mountbatten, who was then called His Royal Highness Prince Philip, Duke of Edinburgh in 1946. Although the formal engagement was delayed until Elizabeth turned 21, in April 1947, Princess Elizabeth used ration coupons to buy the material for her wedding dress. The wedding was in November 1947. According to The Independent, because of rationing, the couple's wedding cake was made using ingredients given as a wedding present by the Australian Girl Guides. Number 4. First British monarch to visit the Chinese mainland. In November 1984, Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher's government returned sovereignty over to Hong Kong to China. The transition would officially take effect on July 1, 1997. In 1986, Elizabeth became the first British monarch to visit the Chinese mainland. During her 6-day state visit with Philip, she toured the country seeing such sights as the Great Wall in Beijing and the Terracotta Warriors in Shaanxi. This was one of the most important tours the Queen had ever taken, and it was looked at as a critical piece of diplomacy following the taxing negotiations between the UK and PRC concerning the return of Hong Kong. In the media, the diplomatic importance of the Queen's visit was undermined by her husband's inappropriate and often racist blunders. Philip called Beijing ghastly and told a group of British students they would get slitey eyes if they stayed in China too long. Number 5. 1992 was the worst year of the Queen's life. The year 1992 was a disastrous year for the Queen, beginning with a fire that broke out in Windsor Castle, followed by the respective marriages of 3 of her children, Prince Charles, Prince Andrew, and Prince Anne, ending in messy divorces. The Queen even put a title on 1992, tagging the year as her Annus Horribilis, which means horrible year. Number 6. The Queen replies a lot. The Queen has answered more than 3.5 million articles of correspondence during her reign and is not stopping this practice anytime soon. She had sent more than 175,000 telegrams to centurions in the UK and the Commonwealth, celebrating their diamond wedding anniversary. The Queen has authored more than 45,000 Christmas cards and has handed over 90,000 Christmas puddings to staff, proving Queen Elizabeth truly cares about staying connected to her subjects. Number 7. She receives very strange gifts from time to time. The Queen has received several unusual gifts during her reign, some of these abnormal gifts even being live animals. According to the British Monarchy website, 2 tortoises were gifted to her during a tour in 1972, a 7-year-old bull elephant called Jumbo, given to her by the President of Cameroon in 1972 to mark the Queen's silver wedding anniversary, and 2 black beavers during a royal visit to Canada. The animals were placed in the care of the London Zoo. Other peculiar gifts the Queen has been presented with include a pair of cowboy boots during a visit to the US. The royal gifts get even weirder though. In 1972, the President of France gave the Queen and Duke of Edinburgh a wine cooler shaped like a giant grasshopper. Number 8. The Queen has owned over 30 dogs. The Queen has owned more than 30 corgis during her reign. The first, Susan, was given to her as an 18th birthday present in 1944. Elizabeth reportedly took Susan everywhere. The cute corgi accompanied the Queen on her honeymoon to Broadlands, Hampshire, and Brickhall, the Balmoral estate, in 1947. Many of the corgis since owned by the Queen were direct descendants from Susan. Elizabeth's adoration of dogs is similar to that of her great-great-grandmother, Queen Victoria, who owned a plethora of German dachshunds, and when she was older, she owned Scottish collies. Number 9. She has met with all 12 British prime ministers during her reign. The Queen has, throughout her reign, held regular evening meetings with a dozen British prime ministers, beginning with Winston Churchill, 1951 to 1955, Sir Anthony Eden, 1955 to 57, Harold Macmillan, 1957 to 63, Sir Alec Douglas Home, 1963 to 64, and Harold Wilson, 1964 to 70, and 1974 to 76. The Queen had regular meetings with Edward Heath, 1970 to 74, James Culligan, 1976 to 79, Margaret Thatcher, 1979 to 90, John Major, 1990 to 1997, John Blair, 1997 to 2007, and Gordon Brown, 2007 to 10. The tradition continued with Prime Minister David Cameron, 2010 to 2016. The pair would have their meetings every Wednesday evening when schedules permitted. It is of note that there have also been 14 U.S. presidents during the Queen's reign, starting with Harry S. Truman, followed by Dwight D. Eisenhower, John F. Kennedy, Lyndon B. Johnson, Richard Nixon, Gerald Ford Jimmy Carter, Ronald Reagan, George H.W. Bush, Bill Clinton, George W. Bush, Barack Obama, Donald Trump, and Joe Biden when he's awake. Number 10. The Queen is a record breaker. Queen Elizabeth is the 40th monarch since William the Conqueror was crowned King of England on Christmas Day 1066. The Queen Mum is also the oldest monarch to have celebrated a Golden Jubilee in 2007 at the tender age of 76. The youngest was James VI and I at the age of 51. Elizabeth was also the first British monarch to celebrate her diamond wedding anniversary on November 20th, 2007, and her platinum wedding anniversary on November 20th, 2017. There have been only 5 other kings and queens in British history that have held the crown for 50 years or more. Queen Elizabeth has been a staple in the hearts and minds of Brits and people all over the world for decades. Let's hope she sticks around for a few more years. Give us your thoughts and opinions in the comment section below. Like, share, subscribe, and ring that notification bell. Until next time.